Hello and welcome back to another one of my FPL videos. I of course am the FPL trainer, and in this video we're going to be taking a look at some transfer plans ahead of game week 24. Now obviously just before the 23 deadline we did get the announcement of Liverpool-Luton double game week in game week 25. So that's now Liverpool and Man City double game week in game week 25. So really you want to prepare for that, but I'm sure most people by now, particularly Man City players, have at least two of them, if not three already. So really, you'll probably want to focus on Liverpool players coming up for game week 25. But obviously, I don't want to be just recommending Liverpool players in the coming week. So I've got one Liverpool guy to recommend, but I'm sure everybody knows who they want. I'm hearing obviously lots of people wanted in Jota, for example. People have already got Nunez. We still don't know whether Salah will be fit yet for double game week 25. So there's a lot to think about in the coming weeks, but I've got three players to recommend ahead of game week 24. Obviously, I've just mentioned one of them will be a Liverpool player. No Man City players, because like I've just said before, they've already, well, most people have got at least two, if not three already. But before I go through all that, let's look back on game week 23, the transfer I recommended. And to be fair to myself, I'm pretty happy with what I recommended ahead of game week 23. So I did say get rid of Trent Alexander-Arnold for Pedro Porro. Now, obviously, Trent's got the double game week in 25, so it's not the smartest idea, thinking back. It's pretty dumb, to be fair. But for those of you who watched the Liverpool game against Arsenal, he got subbed off early, which was quite a big surprise, to be fair. I don't think many people was expecting it. So he came off for Andy Robinson. But obviously, after the game, Klopp did say he's not ready yet to play a full 90 minutes, but I do reckon by game week 25 it will be. So probably not the best transfer I recommended. So obviously he only got 1 point because he conceded against Arsenal. And obviously Porro was a bit disappointing, to be fair, against Everton. I did think that Spurs would win that game comfortably 2, maybe 3-0, but it was a 2-2 draw. No assist from him, no bonus points from him, which is a surprise. So he only got the 1 point. So that one wasn't, it was a naff transfer. It's an L for me, that one. I'm not going to say it was a great one. Obviously, with Spurs now obviously blanking in game week 26 and with Liverpool doubling up in game week 25 and also having a nice fixture in 24, it's not exactly the best one to go for. So yeah, that one was definitely an L. But the next one, I mean, look, Odegaard had a tough fixture, obviously, against Liverpool. He did blank again though, so another disappointing return from him. So he only got 2 points. Anthony Gordon went off injured at half-time, which was a surprise. But beforehand, he did manage to get an assist in that crazy game against Luton in that 4-4 draw. Now, still not quite sure on that, obviously, injury. Well, from the sounds of it, he could be back for the next game in game week 24. So it's probably not the worst one in the world. He's probably got away with it. But yeah, obviously, with it being a 4-4 draw against Luton, you probably would have hoped for much more from Gordon. But like I just mentioned, he went off after an injury, but he still came away with obviously more points than Odegaard, so I'm taking that as a W. Then the final one worked out a real treat. So obviously Archer of Sheffield United got absolutely battered against his old club Aston Villa, 5-0. He did come on, obviously he didn't start. Like I mentioned before, he's not going to be their number one guy anymore. He's going to be on the bench. And yeah, just a 1 point for him. Now, recommending strikers is obviously difficult because there's quite a few that people want. Obviously, there's some people are stuck with, i.e. the likes of Watkins, yet where you want to get with him, Slanky, and obviously Haaland or Alvarez are the three most people have. I recommended Højlund because obviously Man United fixtures aren't actually that bad, and maybe he'd finally get on that run. It was a tough fixture against West Ham, but you know, United played really well, to be fair. Højlund got the goal, and he also got 2 bonus points. So he came away with 8 points overall. So another W there. So yeah, at least he got 2 out of 3 credit there. So pretty decent overall. So those who did go for Højlund, fair play to you. I didn't personally, because I'm stuck with the strikers currently I've got for now. But yeah, Højlund absolutely smashed it. Gordon got more points than Odegaard. So yeah, pretty decent for me, I have to say. So then on to the first transfer I've got on here, and it might be a shocker to you. So it's taken out Shah for obviously Van Dijk. So Van Dijk's the one Liverpool player I would recommend bringing in for this coming game week. Now, the surprise is obviously Van Dijk just had an absolute howler against Arsenal. he made the mistake. Well, him and Alisson made the mistake for the second goal, and obviously his deflection went in for the third goal. So it wasn't his best game, obviously, against Arsenal, but I still think he should come in. Why? Well, Trent Alexander-Arnold, we don't know how fit he's going to be. He might be fit for double game week 25. He might not be. Robertson, we still don't. I don't think he's going to play both games in double game. I think he'll get rotated with obviously Gomez. So that's an issue. So that's the defence. I mean, I wouldn't recommend going for Alisson. There's no point making a goalkeeping transfer. Midfielders wise, everyone's recommending going for Jota. 100% understand why that is. We don't know whether Salah's going to be fit yet, so we can't recommend him just yet. Luis Diaz, his minutes are always a risk. He's always playing maybe 60 minutes. Sometimes he does play 90, but it's an issue, so that's another problem. And then strikers, Núñez, he's hot and cold, isn't he? And Gakpo is not getting the minutes. So Van Dijk, he's somebody who will play. He's definitely 100% going to play all these games coming up. So 90 minutes for sure. Now, return-wise, in terms of, is he going to get you a goal? Is he going to get you assists? Look, the chances are slim. Let's face it. But is he going to keep a clean sheet? Burnley at home, game week 24. Good chance he's keeping a clean sheet there. Brentford away in the double. Not so confident, if I'm being honest, because Tony's a really good striker. So I don't think he will keep a clean sheet there. But the Luton at Anfield, yeah, I think he can keep a clean sheet there as well. So 2 clean sheets in 2 game weeks. That's pretty decent. Obviously, you get the 2 points for playing against Brentford, I reckon. So you're looking at 14 to 15 point hauler there. So in 2 game weeks, that's pretty decent to be fair. So definitely think you should look at getting in Van Dijk. Something different as well. I mean, he is 15% owned, so I was quite surprised with that. But I think he's something to look at. Now, taking out is obviously Shard. Now, the reason why I think you should take out Shard. Now, his fixtures are decent. Forest, Bournemouth, and Wolves coming up. But that's on paper. So Wolves, they're pretty decent now, to be fair. Bournemouth are scoring goals. And last time, obviously, Newcastle played Forest at St James's Park. They got battered. So defensive-wise, it's not great at the minute for Newcastle. And if you've got, let's say, Dubravka as well in your team, I wouldn't recommend going for double Newcastle defence if one of them shot. I know he scored 2 goals against Aston Villa a few weeks ago, but the chances of doing that again are pretty slim, to be fair. And I just feel like maybe just get rid of one of your Newcastle defenders. Particularly as well if you've got Trippier as well. It's not worth having all these defenders for Newcastle because I don't see clean sheets coming in the near future. Even though the fixtures don't look too bad. But long term, maybe have Newcastle defenders. But at the minute, I don't see any clean sheets in the next 4 games for Newcastle. Even though as well, Liverpool have a blanking game week 26. I'd much rather have Van Dijk than Shaw. So with my midfield change, it might be a surprise. Because obviously, I did say I'm not going to be mentioning Liverpool players and Man City players. But I didn't mention bringing out. So Mohamed Salah's still out injured. Don't know when he's going to be back. He might be back for double game week 25. So this is a gamble. But if he is, it'll probably be the second game if you're lucky. I wouldn't be surprised if I just keep him out until game week 27. But we'll see. We'll see. He might be back for the final, the League Cup final, and that's what they're waiting for. But like I said, we'll see on that one. But 13 million on the bench, it's not worth it really. So take the gamble. Oh, look, it's a gamble nevertheless. But bringing in James Maddison, it's not the worst one in the world really, is it? He's come back now. He absolutely smashed it when he started his career at Spurs. He's come back. 2 games, 2 assists. He looks decent. Spurs look great. They look great attacking. It works perfectly for James Maddison. So, yeah, for sure, I reckon you should bring him in. Brighton away next game. Brighton can leak in goals. So, for sure, great transfer. Great fixture for him. Wolves at home. I think he'll obviously, again, do well there. He is obviously got a blanking game at 26, just like Salah is. But then he comes back with Crystal Palace. A nice fixture there. And one thing you might have noticed as well, all 3 of these fixtures that he's got coming up are going to be at home. So 3 home fixtures coming up is an added bonus on top of that. He's only 10% owned currently right now. So if you get on him early, I reckon he could smash it in these next 3 game weeks. Obviously, like I said, he is blanking in 26. But I'm sure that's not going to be too much of a worry. The 3 fixtures he's got are pretty decent. I think he'll smash it, to be fair. So, Maddison, get on him early, and I think he'll do really well for you. So then with my final transfer, I'm not going to lie, this was an absolute nightmare to decide on what to do. So for strikers at the minute, it's horrible. So, for example, I've got Solanke, Watkins and Haaland. So who do you take out there? Apparently Solanke might have a double game week in 28. And if he does, he's got a great run of fixtures as well. So, I mean, I know he's blank, but the fixtures coming up are great for him. Watkins has just scored a goal and got 3 assists, and he's got a decent run coming up. And Haaland's an absolute beast with a double game week in 25. So I've gone with Ollie Watkins here because he's got FA Cup game midweek. If he wins that, he's going to be blanking in 29. Ivan Toney's got a double game week in 25. He's got a fixture. He's 100% playing in game week 29. It just makes sense, really. He's on penalties as well. Watkins is not on penalties. Now, I know Toney's fixtures are horrible, right? But can he score against Wolves? Absolutely. Of course he can. Can he score against Liverpool and Man City? 100% he can. I know he's just blanked against Man City, but look, he scored 2 goals at the Etihad last season. There's no reason why he can't do it again. I've got confidence in him. He's got West Ham in game week 26. West Ham haven't won yet in 2024, so I don't see why he can't score there. And Chelsea, they may be obviously amber at the minute, but they're an absolute shambles. They're leaking goals left, right and centre. I have no reason to believe why he can't score. He could score an hat-trick against Chelsea, no problem. So, for sure, Toney, long term, I think is the best pick. Just because he's got double game weeks and he's got no blanks at all. Now, there is other strikers, like obviously I mentioned the previous week before. He got Højlund. Alvarez, he played against Brentford last night, as did Haaland, as did Foden, as did De Bruyne. So, will Alvarez continue to start games? So is there any point in getting rid of him? That's another thing. Darwin Núñez, he's also got a double game week in 25. That is also a massive thing as well. The striking options at the minute are so difficult to decide on. I'm going to recommend obviously Toney here. But look, the players I've just mentioned as well, tip of my tongue. That's what I was trying to say. Look, I get it. If you want to go for those guys, they could also haul as well. But Toney is the only one out of all of them who's got double game week in 25 and has a fixture for game week 29. So for sure, that's why I think you should go for Toney. He's somebody I really want to go for. Obviously, to get him, I'd have to get rid of Watkins as well. So yeah, this is a difficult transfer. But you know, if you want to go for him, go for him. He's barely owned right now. So obviously, if he does haul, your rank's gonna go sky high. So yeah, it's a risk, but I think it'd be a risk worth taking. So that is it then for this video. Let me know what you think about this video. Let me know what you think about the transfers. Who are you looking to bring in? Not just for game week 24, but for the double game week 25. Let me know what you think of it. Let me know. Just let me know what transfers you think about doing. Also, if you like this video as well, don't forget to like this video. Even if you don't like it, please like it anyway. That'd be great. Gratefully appreciated. And also, don't forget to subscribe as well. And I'll see you all on the next one.